Thank you for selecting Creating Secure Passwords by C.C.I. Security is a major issue in the networking world today. Every day, systems are compromised, viruses are spread, and people's personal information stolen and used for financial gain. This tutorial is for individuals who would like to learn more about password security and how to create a secure password to protect their home computer network. Let's start with looking at some of the most common passwords used today. Now, if you see your password on this list, you're not alone. Many individuals create easy-to-remember passwords out of convenience, but this is exactly what hackers and identity thieves are counting on. Let's take a closer look at this list. Now, at number 1, we see the word password. Now, this should be an obvious mistake, one that's made quite too often, though. Number 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You should never use sequential numbers. This is very easy to guess. Number 3, QWERTY. This is something that's easy to remember because it's the first 5 letters in the top row of a keyboard, but again, it's a very common password and one you shouldn't use. Number 4, ABC123. Again, very simple and very obvious. Number 5, let me in. This password is popular at many offices. I've seen it many times for people to log into their computer network at work. And number 6, your name. For example, J. Smith. If your name was John Smith, you might take the first initial and your last name, creating J. Smith. This is very common. Now, these passwords are easy enough for most people to guess, and a seasoned hacker will have very little difficulty bypassing them. Next, let's look at some of the common mistakes people make when creating passwords. First on the list is creating a password that is too short. Your password should be a minimum of 8 characters long. Anything less is too easy to crack. Next on the list is never changing your password, keeping the same password you've had for years. The longer you keep your password, the more likely it is to be compromised. You should change your password every few months. Another common mistake people make is personalizing their password. Don't use your name, a child's name, or your town, as these are all very easy to guess. Also, don't use personal dates to create numeric passwords like a birthday or anniversary. Next on the list is sharing your password. You should never tell anyone else your password, as this is the quickest way to compromise your computer. And lastly, do not write your password down and leave it visible. I see this often at many offices. Employees will often write down their usernames and passwords on a post-it and leave it attached to their monitor. This is definitely not a good idea. Creating a secure password keeps intruders from getting to your personal data, infecting your computer with viruses, and taking control of your computer. Not only are you risking your computer being rendered inoperable, but you also run the risk of identity theft. In 2006, there were 15 million victims of identity theft, a 50% increase since 2003. The average loss to the victim was $3,257. It has gotten to the point now where insurance companies are offering identity theft insurance, and many banks have identity theft clauses written into their policies. This trend is on the rise worldwide, and in fact, unauthorized charges to credit cards due to identity theft rose almost 200% between 2005 and 2006. Creating a secure password is one way to help keep you from becoming a victim. Okay, now to create a secure password. To do this, we're going to use a technique called phrasing. Phrasing is taking a familiar phrase and using the first letter of each word to create a password. After we do that, we're also going to add capitalization and numbers and symbols to make it even more secure. So to start, let's take the phrase, "You can't judge a book by its cover." If we take the first letter from each word, you would end up with a password like YCJABBIC. Next, you would want to add capitalization to some of the letters. So the password now becomes YCJABBIC. And finally, you would want to add symbols and numbers. This will make the password very secure. So adding symbols and numbers, we'll now have YCJ, the @ symbol, 4, B, 1C. Of course, sometimes you can't use certain symbols when creating a password depending on the application, but generally you can use some symbols. You can also use a random password generator to create a password that will be tough to crack. Check out these two links and follow the instructions and you can create a secure password in seconds. Now, creating a secure password is just one way to help secure your computer. There are many others, including running reliable antivirus software, keeping your firewall active and updated, using other utilities like Adaware and Spybot to search for spyware and other intrusions, but those will be covered in another tutorial. Thank you for watching this tutorial on creating secure passwords, and be sure to visit CCI online.